I convene the August 12th, 2026 regular board meeting to order at 7 p.m. Jackie, please call the roll.
Emily Swistek.
Here.
Vanessa Berry.
Here.
Debbie Bryan.
Here.
Josh Martin.
Here.
Karen Larson.
Here.
Laura Paley.
Here.
Liz Sullivan.
Here. Okay, thank you. Agenda item number 2 is opportunity for visitors to speak. Public comment is for the general public to address the board. Each person will have up to 5 minutes to provide public comment. Seeing none, we will move on to item number 3, which acknowledges that Vice President Berry and Trustee Paley reviewed the July billings in August, and that President Swistek and Trustee Sullivan will review the August billings in September. Okay. Agenda item number 4 is the consent agenda. Is there a trustee who wishes to pull something from the consent agenda? If not, may I have a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda?
I move to approve the consent agenda, which includes the approval of the minutes of the July 15th, 2026 board meeting and acknowledgement of the July 31st, 2026 treasurer's report, investment activity report, current assets report, revenue report, expense report, and the authorization of the August 12th, 2026 payment of bills.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. I had a correction. Brian Krebs' first name was spelled incorrectly in the minutes, so if we could amend the minutes to reflect the correct spelling of his name, that would be great. Any other discussion? Okay. Jackie, please call the roll.
Emily Swistek.
Aye.
Vanessa Berry.
Aye.
Debbie Bryan.
Aye.
Josh Martin.
Aye.
Karen Larson.
Aye.
Laura Paley.
Aye.
Liz Sullivan.
Aye. Okay, motion passes. Thank you. Agenda item number 5 is unfinished business. 5A is capital improvement projects. A1 includes the Kingston Lot development. Tonight we have Brian from CCS and Craig from Terra Engineering. Brian, would you please begin the discussion first so you can join us here? There's 2 seats up here that you can both come and join us at the table. Thank you.
I think we have some things to pass out.
Good, okay. Perfect.
Big copies.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you. Great, oh wow. Thank
I've
you.
never paid so much attention to garbage cans and lights now wherever I go. I'm like, oh, look at that.
So true. Yep.
Good evening, everyone. Thanks for having us back. So I wanted to provide an update to the Nature Trail project. As you know from our last meeting in July, please take any comments and feedback and provide some additional alternatives and information for your consideration. So for the meeting today, you have the updated site furnishings package in front of you. We would request that today we focus on selecting the bridge material, so either the steel or the painted, and site-like furnishings. And then we'll have continued discussion on the bench seating, the entry gate, which is a new entry into this package, and of course the pavers, which is also something we briefly talked about last week. I have a little more information for you today. So that being said, I'll turn it over to Craig and we'll walk through this.
All right, so first page here, we'll go with the pavers. So we have the small paver plaza space as you walk across the bridge. Let's talk about doing a range of pavers, and so I wanted to provide you guys with some options on what that could look like. 2 kind of main selections we need to make is actual brick pavers versus concrete pavers. So the top image is color selection typically for brick pavers, so typically in the red tones. There's some lighter colored ones, there's some black ones too, but that's typically the color range you get. The concrete pavers, you get a little bit more color selection, patterns, things like that. If you look over to the left there, the 2 different, the white and the red, the top one's the concrete paver close up, and the bottom one's a clay paver close up. As you can tell, the clay paver it's a deep, richer color to it typically. So, and then, so that's item 1 that we need to figure out. Item 2 is paver sizes. Some of that's gonna be dependent upon how you're gonna sell pavers. If you just wanna sell one size, we can just pick a size. Typically, they come in 4x8, 8x8, or 12x12s. There's the opportunity to mix sizes as well. And then based on those sizes that we pick, we can figure out what kind of pattern we want to do. That middle picture is kind of just a grid pattern with 4x8s, and the one on the bottom is kind of a running bond pattern, so they kind of stagger. And those are also 4x8s, but you could do that with squares or the rectangles. And then the other thing that I wanted to bring up is just paver color and engraving. So typically, if you look at the very top right image, a lighter colored paver with a dark text reads very clearly well. You could do on the brick colored pavers, black or white engraving. I think the white tends to look a little bit better on the darker colors. So if you pick a dark colored paver, we'd probably want to go in that direction. The other thing I'll note is if you want to be able to have pavers that have logos on it, so if you want to sell like corporate sponsorship type of thing, you'd want to have, getting back to the sizes, you'd want to do a bigger paver. You want to do an 8x8 or 12x12 in order to have a big enough size for that logo to fit on it. The other thing that I would mention is bottom 2 pavers, or bottom 2 images, you start getting variance in colors. Certain pavers are more readable than others. The one on the far right, when you have like a blended color where the color, it makes it very difficult to read. So that's an older paver look. I mean, that's been in for a while, but that's what eventually is going to happen. Is it's going to read pretty okay to begin with, but then it's going to fade in terms of readability. So just keep that in mind when you're selecting colors. Any questions about any of that? Thoughts?
We're not deciding tonight.
That's
We
what I
don't
was
need to
gonna
decide
say.
tonight.
Yeah.
Digesting.
Yep,
Okay.
thank you.
So, and when someone purchases it, is it, we're just gonna have it open for a certain amount of time, or will it be available? Can we pull them out, like pull the blank ones out and put an engraved one in, or how does that work?
Can. I think it depends on how you want to go through the there's a lot of times you could just sell off, this is the window, and once you sell it, you're done. So you don't have to go through that process. If you're going to go through that process, you'd want to have attic stock. So you'd want to have like 50 extra pavers
Sure.
that you would
Right.
have to store somewhere.
Yeah.
And then do you go get one engraved each time someone purchases a new one, or you do it once a year, or that
Yeah.
process starts to get more expensive when you start doing onesie, twosie type of,
Right. I'm just thinking if somebody wanted to buy one for memorial, would we want
Later
that
on.
option, right?
Yeah.
But maybe
But there
once
is a
a
way
year,
to
yeah.
pull them out
Pull 'em
and
out,
put
yeah.
new ones in if you want to do it that way.
Okay.
We had a preliminary discussion about this at our pre-meeting to this packet being put together, and I had that same question. And I think what we determined, and it's obviously up to the board, but because we thought about this as not only like having families stamp their names and have something here from them, but also as, partially fundraising. So like having a window of time to purchase made a lot of sense.
Yeah.
And we'll know exactly how many bricks we have, and then depending on what the board selects, if it's like multiple sizes or if it's a uniform size, it might be easier for it as a uniform size to say we have this many lines and this many characters versus different sizes. But, it's up to the board and what you want to do. I mean,
Sure.
there's all kinds of options, and we can create the campaign to be
Okay.
whatever you want it to be.
My thought is I wouldn't want to add yet another ongoing management activity, which is trying to coordinate
Yep,
storing pavers and figuring out how
Storage.
we do it.
for
Putting it
sure.
as a one-time thing as part of this kind of kickoff makes
And
more sense.
I
to me.
agree.
As far as memorials go, there are other options, just
Yeah.
like we do now. Like we had a planter for memorial, we had thing, so that maybe we wanted to add something to
Right.
the park
Mhm.
as a memorial, we
Yep.
can always offer that to somebody.
Yep. Okay.
And what are the paver sizes again?
So there's 4x8, 8x8, and 12x12. So it's that middle text at the top.
Mm-hmm.
At the
Mm.
park district, I know they have the 4x8s, do they also have the 8x8?
I don't know.
Like in front of
By the
CLI?
pool? I
think
don't
they
know.
do.
There are some 8x8s.
There are?
There are some there.
Interesting, okay.
I think it's
Yeah.
interesting too to see how like some of them have worn over time and
Yeah.
that the readability
Mm-hmm.
has
Right.
really like worn away on a
Right,
lot of the
right.
paper. So like,
Mhm.
I'm assuming that those are the ones then that are the concrete, right, that it doesn't stay.
Right, so concrete gotten better in terms of they'll have a, not get a picture of it there, but there's like a thickened, full color piece to the paper. And so what you're seeing on this bottom right is like it's a mix, so you see the gravel that's in it, and then
Yeah.
once that color kind of fades on top or wears, you start
Yeah.
to see that gravel
Mm-hmm.
mix in it, and that's what's making it look whitish a little bit.
Okay.
And so they'll have like a surface piece to the paper that is full color that's, it's gonna last longer, but there is gonna be more fading with the concrete papers and with the.
Well, and I'm assuming
Like-
different companies have like different ways that they do, or the depth of the engraving too, right? Because like sometimes I feel like I've been at some places where it seems like it's really like deep and it'll last a long time, and then others are like not much there anymore, like almost like the engraving has worn away.
Maybe a little bit, I think typically the graving is pretty standard size, I don't know what
Okay.
the exact depth is. Some of that, again, like, you can engrave and not put color in it, you can engrave and put black paint in it, white paint in it, so like there's different, so that might be some of
That
that
might
too.
be some of what I've seen too then. Because like this bottom middle one, like really stands out. Like,
Yeah.
Really black,
Yeah.
it really stands out.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas, like that bottom right that we were looking at is clearly like a.
Yeah, I think Downers Grove has more of the neutral color on their
By their
pavers.
library.
At their library?
Yep,
Okay.
Like the one in
Within-
the middle, Karen, you're saying?
yeah.
Like
Worth
the
investigating to
concrete.
go over and take a look at it because they've been there
Yeah.
a long time.
Okay.
Now I have something else to look at.
Yeah, and they've added different
Make a
ones there
trip.
too, right,
Yeah.
in that little curved area.
It's the one area that goes from, I don't know what street it is, along Curtis,
Yeah.
right in front of the
Like
library.
curves in, and they've got like a little bench and a little statue.
Yeah,
right?
but they've been there a long, long time.
Yeah. So that's probably a good idea actually for all of us, like Karen
Yeah.
said, like to go and see some of these, out in the wild and kind of get an idea of how they look.
Right. They have them at the Arboretum too, so
Yeah, the
yeah.
Arboretum has them.
Yep.
We said Sea Lion and Aquatic Park has them. in
Right,
front.
right, yeah.
The Riverwalk in Nottingham has them, and there's like a fountain down there too that has some new ones there too, so other places that we can kind of look and see. And I think that might give us a good idea then, next time we meet and talk about these, that we have a better idea.
Yeah.
Are the concrete and clay comparable in cost? Is there a significant difference between the two?
I believe the clay may be slightly more expensive, but the amount of papers they're doing is so
Right, doesn't really
small.
matter.
I don't-
Okay. Oh, that's
the overall
interesting.
cost, I don't think is gonna be
Okay.
anything extravagant.
And then
so.
these examples, the 8, well, 4 really that you have up there, are those all clay or concrete or one or the other?
The top two rows are all clay.
Okay.
So that's just kind of
Okay.
giving you the range of clay colors
Right.
typically. Like I said, depends on manufacturer, there is a couple manufacturers that make a black paper, clay paper. And then the middle ones kind of shows a bigger range with the concrete.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for this.
Yeah.
Good.
Okay. So the bridge. Last time we talked about the, what do we call it?
Leathering stuff?
The type of truss.
Oh,
This is the
frat.
Pratt truss.
Pratt.
Yes. Thought I had this on here still, but I guess I took it off. Okay. So we decided we wanted to do the Pratt truss. The top two images kind of show that weathered steel, and then that bottom one shows just a black painted. We wouldn't have to do black, obviously. Cost-wise, weathered steel is cheaper than painted. So that's that. The painted does take a little longer to get. For us, I don't think that's that much of an issue. I think the biggest thing with making the decision is maintenance. So each one, you're gonna have to have some type of inspection yearly. That's all bridges. Painted steel, you would touch it up as you would get chips and stuff. And then every 15, 20 years, kind of just depends on usage and, you know, issues, it could go longer, you would want to repaint it. Now, you could repaint it, just paint over it. If it's in really bad shape, then you want to like sandblast it and repaint it that way. And that's obviously a longer process, more expensive process, so. So that repainting, $5,000 to $10,000 typically, the full sandblasting and repainting is closer to $25,000. So there's cost involved in doing that. Whether it's steel, you wouldn't have to do that. If there's some graffiti or something, you can sandblast the steel. It's going to be noticeable for a little bit, but it's going to weather again, back to that rust color. So the issue with weathered steel is the de-icing chemicals. So we're going to use this in the wintertime. You're going to salt it. It's not that you can't, but you got to be a little bit more careful in how you do it. And some of that could be, I think we talked about last time, like putting a curve on the edges to try to contain the chemicals on the top of the deck, so it's not washing over the deck and running down the sides onto the weathered steel. That's where you're really running into the issues. And the other thing you would do, like once a year, end of the snow season, you'd want to wash it down just to get rid of any residue chemicals on there, just to minimize that. But there is that potential because of the type of material it is.
Is that with power washing or what?
Yeah, you would take a power washer out there and just hose down the whole thing, basically. So.
Interesting.
And then in terms of warranty, most manufacturers just give a 10-year warranty, so it doesn't really, shouldn't really factor into this too much, so.
That's interesting. The manufacturers don't really see a measurable difference between coated or uncoated steel.
My guess is after 10 years, they're expecting no issues for 10 years.
Right.
After 10 years, that's when you start getting the chips and stuff.
Got it.
Where, okay, we don't want to have to guarantee
Right.
every paint job, or, you know, like that type of thing. So I think that's probably where it's set. The other thing I'll mention this whole process too, we talked about was the rust runoff.
Yeah.
As it rusts, it can stain the concrete.
Right.
You can put coatings on it. It will prevent a good portion of it, but it's not fully preventing rust. So like, you could see spotting of rust. So you'd have to be okay with that. So.
Yeah.
I was curious about that comment about the coatings and repeating that, recoating every 2 to 5 years, as well as the concrete dye idea to mask staining. And I didn't know if that is also, if the concrete dye is a one-time thing, is it repeated also like the coatings? I don't see how that would be possible, but I'm just curious about the cost of those. If we look at the cost of like the painted steel and redoing the paint, what would be the cost for maintaining the concrete under the bridge?
So the colored concrete would be one-time thing. Like
In the concrete, it's not like treated over, okay,
It's
gotcha.
gonna wear a little bit, I'm sure you've seen colored concrete, it's gonna fade a little bit.
Yeah,
That
yep.
type of thing. What you might not see always is like you can coat concrete and make it, bring back that wet.
I have seen
look
that.
to it. So that's what you would be doing every couple of years.
Okay,
To give it that look.
okay.
So, and some of that, you don't have to,
Mhm.
but it starts to look a little older now, weathered, let's put another coat. So maybe it's 2 years, maybe it's 8, right? Like it
Okay.
just kind of depends on how you visually see it and make that decision from there, so.
And that would be
So-
something we would have to do with either bridge type.
Mm.
You're talking about with the concrete.
No, just for the rust runoff.
Just for the
Just for
rust.
I mean,
The rust staining.
if you wanted, I mean, you could do colored concrete on either one. So if you wanted to have
Sure.
a colored concrete on the painted bridge, you could do that too. We're putting the colored concrete in order to hide the rust, potential rust, right? So like, I would recommend doing that if we're going with the weather.
Yeah,
If we're not going with the weather, we're going with the paint, you don't have to, but you could still. So I think it's something we can look at.
To me, rust runoff and rust staining on concrete is just like one of the ugliest things that I've
It
seen
is,
in
yeah.
civil infrastructure, so.
I agree.
Yeah.
Even for the cost difference, I'm like, I don't know. from
So is
appearances,
it rust
it's-
colored concrete then we would stain the, I mean, I'm like trying to
Just
figure out what color would you have to
pre-stain it
make
so
it,
it
yeah.
doesn't show up, I don't
Right,
know.
right, so yeah, I'm
To
with
me,
you,
at that
Josh,
point,
yeah, it's kind
The
of,
paint almost seems like for the cost, the
mean,
better appearance.
You
in
can
it.
stain the concrete like a very dark charcoal color,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
That could work.
yeah.
What's nice about that even, and so typically what happens, asphalt typically melts the snow faster because of the dark color.
Oh.
And so if you make the concrete dark in color, it's gonna
Helps with that.
help with the melting of the snow as well, so keep that in mind.
Right.
Um, But that's I don't know if I have a picture of what that looks like.
Right, right,
But
yeah.
that's something
yeah.
you could potentially do.
So then, hold on, really quickly then, because that was specifically, we're talking about the bridge deck, but also, we wouldn't wanna have, because is it concrete from the parking lot side up to the bridge and the abutments, and then concrete to the paver area as well? Yeah, so you almost have to stain all of it, so you don't have, any
Sorry,
differences in concrete
Mm.
color.
I don't know if you could,
But
I
it
know if
would
I would
be-
do that, I think you wanna,
So you
stain
just have the
the,
deck completely, well, I mean, you're still gonna get runoff on the abutments, so you could possibly have concrete staining or rust staining on that concrete as well, right? Because the abutments are gonna be concrete. Yeah, so you're gonna run into different colors and stains regardless unless you stain it all or go with painted.
now the other issue with staining concrete is if something, especially outside that bridge deck, you
Right.
shouldn't have cracking too much or whatever on the bridge deck, but
Yeah.
outside the bridge deck, if something settles or cracks or a little
Right.
bit, replacing that and trying to match that color is very difficult, so that's why I would like hedge it.
Right, like
Not
on this,
wanting to
this
stain-
picture here, right, if we had different color concrete here and then you have like the abutments, which are directly under all of this, like you can't really control rust staining on any abutments either, so you're gonna see it.
But I don't think it necessarily looks weird to have,
Yeah, well, I mean, I guess that's asphalt, that's not too bad there.
Yeah.
even if it was just regular sidewalk.
I mean,
I just mean unless you stain the abutment, you're still gonna get
Yeah.
rust staining there after a
Mhm.
while.
So we have to give you, we have to say tonight, right? We don't want to do that to the weather, is that correct?
We would like that.
Yeah,
You
to
would
move
like that.
forward.
We'd like that from the board going forward. Okay, so then I'll be asking for, general consensus from the board. Before I ask, okay, what's your preference? Does anyone else have any other questions for Craig and Brian before we say, I would prefer this, or I would prefer this? Does anyone have any other questions to help them make their decision?
What do most people go with? I mean, do you see like this painted versus the natural?
I think typically what you would find at like a forest preserve would be the weather
Natural.
system. But it's more of a natural, native
That's
kind
what-
of environment.
It's a natural nature trail.
Right, but it's also within a developed area, it's not like a giant forest preserve piece of property, it's a little bit more refined. The library's a little bit more refined, right, like having a painted bridge that reflects, I think the painted looks classier, we'll say. Maybe. Is that the right word, maybe?
More refined.
More refined. Right, like,
Okay.
so. That answer your question?
Yeah, kind of.
Okay.
Personal preference.
From a
Right, I think it
maintenance
is a lot.
standpoint, what would the library prefer?
Go ahead.
I mean,
I think it's pretty even.
it's kind of a wash. I mean, the weathered steel is obviously the easiest one, because then I don't have to worry about paint chipping off and getting paint replaced. The rust runoff is honestly, to me, part of the aesthetic when you're in a forest preserve. Like, I don't want to be walking through a forest preserve and see like modern, like painted black all around me. Like, if I'm gonna see man-made structure, like, it makes me feel more in like the outdoor element if it looks like this was put here forever ago and then almost forgotten about. Like, I'm not here to see a structure. If the structure is brown and blends in and looks like it's being overgrown, that's what I want. But to Craig's point, we're not in a forest preserve.
Yeah.
Like, we are in the middle of a neighborhood, and the rest of our building does not have that rust aesthetic. So, to the direct question, with maintenance, I think the weathered steel will be a little easier. But that being said, like, it still has to, I can't sandblast. I can't have my guys do that. I have to have somebody come out if we need to do anything.
Yeah.
I think the painted probably matches what is on our property now a little better than the weathered.
And that's something that your staff could maintain if you need to touch a paint or something as opposed to maybe?
I mean,
If it's small chips.
if it's
Yeah.
small,
Yeah.
I don't know, I guess I'd defer to you two on that, but my inclination would be no,
Okay.
because in order to get the paint to like properly adhere and have the right type of paint to be outdoor on steel, like that's not like me sending guys to Home Depot and getting
Right.
brushes.
So we have added stuff, I would hope.
Yeah.
So, like Tatiana said, like little stuff,
Yeah.
but
And if we were to do the painted steel, then we could, clearly pick the color we wanted, then, right? There's a lot of choices as far as that
Correct.
goes.
So any color you can think of, you could probably get, so.
That's for a future meeting for us to
Yeah.
discuss.
Don't need that.
Not tonight,
Right.
right? Yeah.
Not prepared for that.
Right.
Director Weinstein wanted to say something.
I agree with everything Will said. I do personally like the aesthetic of the natural weathered steel, just because it's going into a nature trail and stuff. But I take everything that Craig said, Will's mentioning, Trustee Martin mentioned. I think I'm really happy with either or. And maintenance, I think, is it's very even.
Yeah.
Any further discussion before you all share what you would prefer?
Let's go.
Well, if it's let's go, then
Let's
I'm gonna
go.
say, okay, Josh, go first.
I'm, after thinking about it, first being more in favor of the natural, I think that the painted is the one I would prefer, just given the application, the number and type of our patrons who will be using it. I am assuming are going to be drastically different than we would see in a nature preserve. And on top of that, from just the, my previous stated stance on rust staining, I'd like to try and avoid that at all costs.
Vanessa?
Honestly, I would be good either way, but I do, there's
Gotta
pros and
pick.
cons to
I
both,
get
I
it,
know.
I get it.
I think I'm leaning towards the painted steel.
Okay. Liz?
Painted.
Okay. Karen?
Natural.
Okay. Laura?
I'm so stuck. I thought I was leaning one direction, but now we're talking about it, and I think I am leaning toward the painted. I
Okay.
do, yeah.
Debbie?
Yeah, the painted. I reflect what you say about we like the natural. I just don't think it is in line with what we deliver here at the library and what the park is going to be like. I think that's really kind of what.
And I've been going back and forth and back and forth as well. But I'm gonna say painted as well. I like the idea of being able to pick a color, and I think that we can
That's
pick a color that's gonna kind of tie in this
Yeah.
property to that property, and I think
Oh, yeah, that's
I
true.
think that's good. So the direction then, the consensus is the painted steel.
Okay.
Carol?
Return to
We made
color
a
another
decision,
way.
I
Yeah.
know.
All right, the turtle. Yeah.
And just, we talked about pickets, horizontal and vertical.
Oh, yeah.
And the
we can
concern
back
with
that up.
horizontal was
Right.
steps, right? So we were,
Well, we
Oh,
wanted
right.
the cross on the outside.
Right.
That was for sure.
but the pickets on the
It's
inside.
like this bottom middle picture.
Yeah, this bottom middle picture has the vertical.
The vertical versus the horizontal,
Right.
Will said, everyone,
Yeah.
kids would make it a
Make
ladder.
ladder.
Right,
Yep.
make it a ladder.
Yeah,
So I just want to make sure that's what we
Yes.
agreed
Yeah.
on.
I think so, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Based on the
Thank you.
advice.
You can have,
Will.
you can have
Yeah.
that one, right?
Yeah.
There's your win.
Thank you for saying that. Right.
It's just funny, you look at things so differently now, you know, like,
Mhm.
but, yeah, I appreciate you saying that.
Yeah.
That's the last thing we need.
Okay, Turtle?
Turtle, you guys picked the turtle from last time, this is the turtle. We got a cost for the turtle, it's cheaper than we originally budgeted.
Great.
Great.
The original concept showed 2 turtles and then 2 rockers. We decided against having any rockers, so that's some of that lower cost in that. The image to the right just kind of shows the size of it, so it's about 5 feet long, 3 feet wide,
That's great.
2.5, if I'm reading that right, 2.25 tall, so.
This was also the winner of all the department directors, they love.
Was it really? Oh, good, 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 good.
And I feel like we have not yet talked about what the purpose is gonna be in that placement area, right? That's coming down at some point.
I think we had originally had rubber, is what we
Is that what we
had,
said?
we had planned.
Okay.
We haven't selected the colors.
I was just looking at this picture here, so then I was like, wait, did we talk about that? Yeah, okay.
I mean,
Good point.
we need to pick a color eventually for the rubber, but
Okay.
I don't think that's something we have to do
Right.
at this moment. But
Okay.
think about it.
Okay.
But I think our intent was it was gonna be a natural color,
Yep.
so a green, like a forest
brown.
green, or
Yeah.
tan,
Okay.
something like that.
Okay.
One thing I will say about the rubber is you can get full color in that rubber, but if you go to a lot of playgrounds, so not something else to look at when you're out at
Yep.
playgrounds and stuff, you'll typically see a mix.
Yeah.
Typically it's a 50-50 mix, black and the color.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
So it's cheaper that way versus doing the full color.
Okay.
It also hides dirt and
Yeah.
debris
Yeah,
and stuff
yep.
like that. So that's typically what we recommend, but you know,
Okay.
if you see something different, let us know. If you Site furnishings. So we picked the Charlie table last time and we're gonna match the dispatch trash. We still need to pick colors. Again, not something we need to do today, but I kinda wanted to show on that Charlie table, and I can send bigger pictures if that's helpful, of, you know, just various versions of that table in different colors. You know, brown, green, blue, natural kind of colors, but if there's a different color you wanna see, you can go to their website and you can click on a creator thing and I'll show you whatever color you pick. So I think there's like 12 or 15 color options through landscape forms. And I think you wanna pick a standard color, cheaper, don't wanna do custom. So that's what we've kind of talked about already. And then we talked about benches that had, I think we're leaning towards something that had recycled plastic slats. We talked about having armrests, we talked about having middle armrests too. I thought there was more benches that had middle armrests, but not that many that are out there. The bench in the middle, on the center of the page, you can attach an armrest bolted to that bench. So you can
Okay.
have a middle armrest. Now, keep in mind, the bench, what we're showing here are 6-foot benches, that's typical. You could do bigger, but typically it's a 6-foot bench. You put armrest in the middle, that puts 3 foot of seating space, 3 foot of seating space. It's a little tight for 2 adults to sit on either side.
Yeah.
But if it's an adult and a kid, you could probably squeeze 2 of those people. So like, that bottom bench, that's what that does, is it's 2 3-foot sections basically.
Okay.
And so keep that in mind. The top 2 don't come with the middle armrest option. So if that's not a critical thing, you know, I think those are good visual options. I think those look nice. And then the bench on the bottom right kind of shows what it would look like if you did, basically it creates 2-foot seats on the 6-foot bench, right? So it's defining each seat basically. But that only comes in metal. So are there any of these that we like, don't like? Try to also show color options for each one, so there's various options we can still pick color-wise.
When we get into colors, Craig will send me links and I will share the links with everybody so
Great.
that you can see them on a screen and it's a little better than a printed page, so,
Sure.
when we get there.
Do we think we really need a middle armrest?
I am not
No.
in favor of them at all.
I feel like
think
it's like
they
an
are very-
airport, you know?
They're
Yeah.
very anti and like belonging, like we want people to feel welcome and we want them to wanna enjoy it and sit here, and I feel like if we do that, it's gonna be like, oh, no, they don't want me to hang out and stay here, and I feel like it's very like unwelcome.
Mhm.
Unwelcome.
I agree.
What was the original concern when that came up at the last meeting? Was it
Sleeping,
people
yeah.
sleeping
And overnighting.
overnighting? What, that's what,
And we
yeah.
do have that at the Park District. I was
Yeah.
asking John if
That's what I
that
was
was
wondering.
something that, I mean, they
Yeah.
have, they do have one person here and there, but, I mean, it's kind of.
It's not a big issue then?
No.
Interesting, okay.
No, we were talking about that today. I mean, so, a lot of our benches are more, this is secluded. That's the only thing that's probably a little bit different than the park
That's very
benches that are
true.
more along the walkways, but still, I'm with Emily. I don't,
Yeah.
these divider things just really are a turn off.
I'm not usually a fan either. I
Yeah,
just wanted to
yeah.
make sure that if we do have a concern of overnighting, and if that's a frequent issue around town, then we.
Yeah.
Well, we are having like security cameras in place, right?
Yeah.
There will be signs with.
I mean, we
no-
have-
I mean, you know what I mean, like no trespassing
Okay.
and all of that, so.
We've had people in the pergola overnight, and we have
Yeah.
cameras there.
Yeah.
So we
Hmm.
just work with the police and,
Yeah.
so if the
Okay.
aesthetics not, like, I'm not a fan of the one with the four armrest.
Oh,
I thought
God.
the one
Yeah.
in the center lower was reasonable, but if you wanna go with just the
But then
6
if it's
foot
only-
without,
If it's
Yeah,
only 3
I
feet
think
on
so.
each side though,
Yeah.
too, to try to figure out how.
That's
you
fair.
sit.
I agree, yeah, I think that's a really good point,
Yeah.
yeah, you limit the amount of people that can use it, for sure.
I agree with your general statement about inclusiveness and
Yeah.
trying to be more,
Yeah,
Welcoming.
yeah, welcoming, definitely.
yeah, like I said, that just feels like, to me, like you're a waiting room, like where you know, you have to
Yeah.
put people close together, but you wanna give them a little, you
Right.
know,
was like
Buffer,
with the
yeah.
and with the resin slats, so they're
So,
not
I mean,
top.
I don't know if,
I like the rest of
if
them.
we need to go with that design, because the one on the top also has resin, I'm not sure how I feel about the base of that, but I feel like we should get rid of the ones that have the, you know, the middle.
Right.
Okay.
I'm good with that.
Sections.
Good.
One thing I will say is that, you know, trying to give you that middle picture kind of is a more traditional.
Yeah.
Right? The top middle is more modern,
Mhm.
and the
Yeah,
one to
that
the right
base.
is a little kind of,
Uh-huh.
a little bit of both. More modern, but, you know,
But that's all metal? In the center right? the green
center
one?
right's all metal, same bench with the recycled plastic slats.
Oh, you meant upper right, the Beacon Hill. That's what you're talking about, is like a mix?
Yeah, I would say that the upper right is kind of,
It's some metal and some resin.
it's got metal and resin, it's not super modern looking, but it's, you know, it's got some modern pieces, but, so.
Do we like any?
I like these two in the middle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I do, like, I like the modern one on top, and I feel like it kind of goes with the cool umbrella thing that the table has.
It's the same company, the Landscape
Right.
Forms, right?
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
That's why.
Yeah.
Especially for the different color options too.
Right, like if it's the same color, it's gonna.
Yeah.
Right, so that's the other
That's
thing we
true.
need to think about too, is you start picking a bunch of different manufacturers.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Trying to
Colors are
match.
gonna be
Oh,
different,
boy.
Right, that's
So if you
true,
do
yeah.
all black, that's one thing, but if you're gonna do
Nope.
actual colors, you know, we gotta think through that now. As long as they're not sitting next to each other, which they aren't,
Right?
it may not be that noticeable, but.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good.
Think
But
it's
then we'll
easier to-
know.
Yeah, keep it, like,
We'll
right.
know, and then.
Yeah, I think we want to try to be consistent,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
What color are our benches that are around here now?
Brown.
They're brown, right, yeah.
Nutmeg or bark?
Do we have to decide on the benches right now? Or can we wait on that?
No, we can wait on that.
Okay.
We'll have
Okay.
links with the
Okay, so then
colors.
Okay.
give
Perfect,
someone more
okay.
time to.
Great.
Great.
So if there's something specific you
No,
like,
no,
just
no
like.
center armrests.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
we're
right,
just.
we got that, that was easy,
Yep.
right?
The middle and
Yeah,
the
go
bottom.
And probably no metal, it sounds like we're going more with the
Yeah,
recycled
resin.
plastic, yeah.
Does,
Yeah.
does this company, does Landscape Forms have other bench designs?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
So, I mean, that's the other option, is I can just send you links to their websites and you can, or you can just
Sure.
Google
Yeah.
Landscape
Oh, boy.
Forms.
Okay.
So I'll just send you stuff and I'll.
Yeah.
I'm going down the rabbit hole.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna.
Come back with
Yeah,
more
that would be helpful, and if you
options.
can send it to
Alright.
Diane, she can just send it out to us, that would be great. Thank you. Lighting?
Lighting. So we talked about matching the current bollard, so that's what's shown there.
Mhm.
We had talked about this prairie style light, kind of hints at, you know, the logo of the library. that specific light has 4 different options on the top. The one that's shown in the image kind of, I would say, is similar-ish to the logo. But there are 3 other options, so if there's a preference.
Does
Yeah.
anyone have a preference? on the
I like
current
all of,
style?
I like all of them, but the one that
Yeah.
would be closest to the logo is probably a smart choice.
The one that's
Yeah.
the far left, the one
Yeah.
that's in the actual color image
Yeah.
there? Yeah.
Yep.
We're all, okay,
Yeah.
yep, we're good.
All
We're
right.
good there,
Okay.
everyone's nodding.
Wow, that was a record.
Yeah. Okay,
Here we go.
this is the one that's got me.
This is the big one.
Yeah,
This
it
is-
really
This
is,
is
yeah.
preliminary discussion.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Goodness, yeah, we really didn't even cover this last time. I was like, what is this?
We got a curveball.
I know.
Yeah,
That
no, this
said,
is exciting.
though, we do need to
This is-
make decisions
yeah.
on this fairly quickly,
Okay.
because
Okay.
we need to decide, depending on what it is, how big it is, we'll need to sign footings and things like that, so like, we kind of need to, we can figure out the text of what the sign says at a later date, that's not as critical,
Yeah.
but,
The
determining,
base, the base is really.
determining what the base is and how much this thing's gonna weigh, so we can design that part of
Got
it.
it.
Okay,
Okay.
that's great, so ignore the
Right.
text,
Yeah,
just the
Right,
style.
the text,
Got
the
it.
text could be whatever we
and the
want.
design.
Okay, so we'll start on the bottom right, because that's probably the most simplistic one. That's just a standard metal,
Bottom left.
bottom left.
Bottom
Right,
left.
so standard metal post, typically probably 6-inch square, maybe 8-inch square post. Could be round, but this would lend itself to square, and then there'd be a full metal piece that goes over it, creating this gateway. You'd have some type of text on it, either side, and the logo in the middle. We don't want to have the logo on it, we don't have to have the logo on it either, but, we're trying to show different ways of incorporating that. So this is, and probably the least expensive of the options, because there's no actual masonry. The top left is, again, it would have some type of metal structure, sign going across, and then we were trying to pull from the building and using the cobbles that's on the building and kind of mimicking that, creating bases that are about halfway up the column. We can shorten them or make them taller, but having bases on the columns, and then the logo that could be a bronze plaque or limestone inset or something like that. So that's what that one is. Top right would be something that's more potentially cast stone, so something that would be a lighter color. If you didn't want to do the cobbles, you could also make these cobbles as well, so that's an option. This gives you a chance to do different types of insets, prairie style, things to match the light pole potentially, or the light fixture, right? There's different things you could do with that. And then the bottom right is a departure from, we talked about this being a gateway, like it's welcoming you into the space. I think of gateway, I think of the actual gate, but it could just be 2 posts or 2 piers on either side that welcome you to the space. You don't have to have the full arch or whatever going across. So this is showing, 2 columns, piers, I should say. Stone base of some sort. Could also be cast stone if we'd rather do cast stone. And then some type of metal feature on top that would be customized, text, logo, potential some prairie style graphics on that metal. These could be, if we go, we're not doing the weathered steel for the bridge, but the original thought was maybe that's a weathered steel sign, right? So I wouldn't necessarily do that for this, but
Could we also just do one as opposed to the?
you can also just do 1, too. You don't have to do 2.
Okay.
And
Which
this-
side of the bridge is this on?
This is on the parking lot side. So you would cross through this, and then just beyond this
Entering.
would be the bridge, like 10 feet beyond this is the bridge, so.
What is the cost on each of these, roughly, ballpark it? I'm not gonna hold you to it, but I mean, it would be nice to know if,
Yeah.
kind of like a cost.
Craig, you said that the metal, the option 2 is the least expensive and option 3 is the most expensive.
Correct. Yeah. Option 4 would be, if we did 1, that would be the cheapest. If you do 2, it's probably in between 1 and 2, cost-wise. And I think we have it budgeted, I don't know, I don't have the estimate. $1,000, $100,000, something like that. I don't think we have.
Be nice to know.
Yeah. We did one recently, but we didn't have stone, so I can see what that is, but we haven't got the stone cost to that, but yeah, I can get you a range.
Yeah, I think it's, right now it's a good idea just to kind of get our initial thoughts on this and then kind of give it back to you and then
Right.
the next time come back and kind of give us some costs
Right.
with it, just so we have an idea, like, are we wanting something that is like a gateway, like an arch going across? Are we wanting just 2 separate things, like what we like, right?
Let's see, because as of right now, like, the project has the budget for any of these, correct? So it's not like we're gonna be taking on more costs than we already thought we would, no matter what we pick.
Right.
Some would save us some money, but if you,
Yeah.
you're not like shooting yourself in the foot by all of a sudden asking for more money,
Fair.
even if you
Okay.
pick one of the bigger ones. So
Okay.
that's, I think, pairing that with what Emily
Yeah.
said, it's a good way to think about, this is more of like concept, this is all within budget, regardless of which we choose.
That's a good
So
point.
how do you just like
Okay.
feel about these more than
And
anything
we can
else?
share what we talked about in the previous meeting if you want us to do that.
Can I say something first?
Yeah, of
before you-
course.
That's all right. I just don't want to lose my train of thought. So one of the things that I really liked when I first saw this, this document, when we got the packet from Tatiana, was incorporating the kind of stone look that we have on the building. I think that's such an integral part of this building, and that's just to see that on this gateway to the nature trail, I feel like it ties it together and it kind of
Yep.
just, so I really like that idea. Whatever the top is, I don't know yet like how I feel about that part, but I really like the idea of tying in
Yeah.
the stone like that we have here.
That's a good point.
Agreed.
Yes.
I didn't want to forget that.
No,
Sorry.
that's
Go
what
ahead.
we talked about, having the cobblestones, somewhere there to tie it in. And the things that were mentioned is like just a simple metal sign was very like sparse. We thought it was
Yeah.
kind of a little anemic looking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Number one and number 4, we talked about as unique, because 4 being unique as having 2 little, like, kind of angular things that maybe might mimic the cedar, our porticos we have on both sides. But also that, not having something that goes over it as number 1, which could be styled in any way you'd like, that's an opportunity to like hang things from it at times, or maybe like fairy lights or balloons if we needed, if we wanted to do that as like a
Yeah, that's good.
welcoming.
That's nice.
So that's another thing to think about. Number 3, as like quote the most expensive one, we wanted to show something that didn't have the cobblestones in case you wanted something different. And that's much beefier, and I'm not sure if beefy is what we're looking for.
Yeah.
It seems like a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Very
Yeah,
tall.
yeah.
Yeah, so those were the kind of the points that were brought up by Will and me
Yeah.
during that kind of group meeting we had, so.
If we want to hop to the images, again,
Yeah.
we're trying to get feedback, preferences, things you like, don't like. So again, these are variations, you can see certain aspects of these images that are in the concepts. And so, the bottom middle, it's not necessarily the wood that I want to show you, it's the cobblestones, like that's kind of what that cobblestone would look with the angles. I think it's a nice look. The ones on the right, the far right top is kind of what this singular thing could be. It could be 2 of them, 1 of them. Obviously, we wouldn't do wood, but you could do a pop of color. If you want to do the green of the library, that's the opportunity there. That also shows it with the cobble base. That base is a little shorter than what we show, but again, it's giving you that idea. The image next to that's kind of what that cast stone would be. It's more refined looking. I don't think that's exactly what we want to do here, but I think it's providing you guys that option. The other 2 on that side, kind of again, singular column, pure look. Could be all metal, doesn't have to have any stone to it. So, any likes, dislikes?
I like the arch, and I like the, I like the top one the best, the Gateway Park one, because it just feels open, like you're not blocking the view, but it's still.
Yeah,
That's a good point.
I had a similar thought. And that was my reaction to the first one too.
And it's just not as heavy. Yeah, like you said, I mean, thinking of like a wood, it just seems like so much, but yeah, I am with you.
Yeah.
And I love incorporating maybe our logos onto the piers, you know, that I really think that, we'll tie it all together.
Before we get
so
too far,
nicely.
speaking of that see-through, I agree with you, I think it looks nice in terms of see-through. But because of that,
Backwards the other way.
when you're looking out of the park, walking back to the parking lot, it's all backwards. Right? And so, keep that in mind.
Okay.
So typically
That is
you
a
could-
really good point.
You know, you could, like the Central Park one, you could do Central Park on both sides, and you would have text on both sides, or the back maybe doesn't have text, it's just a blank sign on the back. You know, there's different ways to do that. But that Gateway Park one, you're gonna see the back, and it's just gonna not
Darn it,
readable.
yeah.
Very well.
I don't know. Do we, maybe, I don't know.
I don't know, I would have to see one and to decide whether I
think
cared or not.
that- I don't know, I feel like because it's on this side of the, like in the parking lot, like you're walking through it and it's before the bridge. Like, I don't think it really matters that it would be backwards when you're
Yeah.
coming back across the bridge,
Put
like.
some extra trees there, and no one will see it on that side.
People will know where they are when they're
Yeah.
leaving. I'm not sure how the people of
Yeah.
Gateway Park feel about it when they leave, but I'm pretty sure they're
Right,
okay. They know where they're
Unless we
going.
wanted something that said Lisle
Thank you for
Library
coming,
District.
or,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
right,
Like if they
right.
were entering off
Library
Kingston
this
and
way.
walk through that, and
Yeah.
then went across the bridge to come to the library.
Yeah.
Do a mix, you know,
Yeah.
have it a little bit
So-
open on, like under
Yeah,
under
you
the
decide
Central
that's
Park.
right
Is
now.
there a
Right,
way to
right.
do that, like
You
have
could
it
do that,
open?
like the
Yeah.
Gateway Park part
Be
could
solid,
be
yeah,
solid.
yeah.
You could have some, like this is showing a pattern on either side, you could do something that incorporates that. from
Okay.
both sides, right?
That,
There's
that
ways
could be
to
a
do that.
compromise, yeah.
Yeah.
I just wanted to make sure we're,
Yeah.
Yeah, no, thank you
Yeah.
for that.
you get this sign and like, well,
We-
why is it backwards on this?
Right,
Right. I can't read this side, right?
Right, right, yeah.
Got it.
$100,000 later, yeah.
Right.
So what
Okay.
direction do you need from us
Yeah.
I
on
think,
this tonight?
I think if there's preferences, like I like to either get us to at least two of these concepts, or, you know, one or two of the images of let's lean more towards this, and we can refine that and get you some updated images and concepts.
Karen,
I'd
thoughts?
like, oh,
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
No, I was just gonna ask Karen, because she was looking
No.
at me. You're good, okay, Liz, go ahead.
I'd kind of like to see option one, but have the top half kind of reflect more the signs we have today, and kind of like incorporate some of the same types of letters and lettering that we use today on our signs.
The font,
The font.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I think all of them would have the font. I think that font is specific, right?
We
Yeah.
own the font, yeah,
So-
Captiva font, we will share that with
Yeah.
you, so you can use it in the next
Yeah.
iteration.
And somehow, I don't know, something about this curve doesn't feel like it matches our other signs. Like the angles on the other signs, they are more angular. I don't know why, this doesn't feel like it fits that.
There's a specific sign,
I think, you know, because our logo is square,
right?
and every other like image of the, like, what, we have like some, I forgot what they're called, but like if you walk up the stairs on the south entrance, I mean, we've got a big like painted logo, and so everything is pretty squared
Square.
off.
Rectangular, right?
So like, instead of having like an
Singer
arc,
curve, yeah.
having more of a squared off.
Okay.
Is that what you meant? Liz?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, every sign that, it doesn't matter where it's directing you, it could be directing you into the parking lot, could be directing you upstairs or downstairs, they're all more angular. to
Yeah.
me.
I think the top right kind of has that more angular,
Right.
Yeah.
Without
Sure.
without the like, the striping maybe,
Right.
just the shape
Yeah.
of the top.
Right.
Yep. That's a good
Well, and then
point.
it's still got some little openings on the sides too, a little bit, so yeah.
And the board likes the cobble.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
All right.
option one with different sign options.
Yeah.
That's a good
Or
point.
something-
Is that an
Something
agreement?
that's closer to
Yeah.
the design.
Option one with more sign options, right?
Yeah.
That's-
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I wonder if we should, investigate, different types of the cobblestone too.
Yeah, base,
Yeah.
like from option 4 maybe,
Yeah,
and
I mean,
option
and
1.
just to
Right.
see, especially
Yeah.
because, option 1 has the logo in the cobblestone, whereas 4 doesn't, like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just to see. Okay. Great.
All right.
Thank you.
Anything
All right.
else from us, Claire and Brian? That's the end of the packet, I just didn't know if there's anything else.
Yeah, great.
Thank you.
No, I think we have everything we need to today, so we've got the bridge material, our stadium is painted.
Okay.
Final sand lighting selection, that was a pretty easy one. Yeah, next month we'll come back, we'll have some additional, bench, entry gateway options, pavers, we'll continue that discussion. And as far as the overall schedule, next month will be when we ask for approval to proceed to the bid process. We won't be releasing next month. We just want to make sure that we get your approval to do that before the drawings are ready. We anticipate the drawings being ready sometime in October.
And you'll have paperwork regarding that, so they'll see beforehand.
Absolutely.
And have questions
Yep.
at the next meeting.
Absolutely. And then in November, so we'll do the bid in October, and then November is when we'll have our recommendation for who to select. And it'll be the most qualified contractor of the proposals we received. And then once we award the contract in November, we anticipate having the contract ready to be signed in December. So that's kind of our outlook for the next couple of months.
Great.
Thank you. Any
Thank you
questions?
so much.
Thank you.
This is
Thank
great.
you very much.
Thanks for-
This is
thanks for all
great.
all the images and everything.
All right,
Nope.
thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you guys.
Have a good night.
Thanks, you
You
too.
too.
Okay, we will move on to agenda item number 6, which is committee reports. 6A is finance. Any report?
Nothing to report.
Okay. 6B, personnel and policy. Any report?
We met last week and we'll go over all of the new policies.
Okay, great. 6C is physical plant. Any reports?
Nothing to report.
Or that later?
Should I talk about it now? or
I guess during your report, we
During
can
your
talk about
report?
dates, yeah.
Okay. During, this is director's report, we'll talk about potential dates for our meeting. Great, okay. 6D is the committee to review minutes. The board thanks Vice President Berry and Trustee Sullivan for fulfilling this responsibility for the IPLAR. I therefore officially retire this committee.
Okay.
Agenda item number 7 is staff reports. 7A is the director's report. Director Weinstein.
Okay, so it's been a very busy month since we last met. Lots of meetings and power outages and
Yeah.
2 tornado warnings. I'm gonna start with the tornado warnings and a power outage because there's an update on the email I sent you this morning. As you'll know, we had a tornado warning on July 28th. Staff did everything they were trained to do, alerting patrons over the intercom, ushering patrons into our shelter area. We had approximately 60 patrons that first shelter warning. And then we had a power outage right in the middle of it all. All the staff and patrons were very patient. Staff offered patrons water, kept them updated. After about 40 minutes, the warning was lifted. But because of the outage, we had to shut down the building. So that occurred. We placed signs on the doors, we changed our phone message, and then we posted to social media. And the outage lasted until the next day around 1 o'clock. But it took us till about 4-ish o'clock to really open the building. We had to make sure our phones were working for emergency purposes. We had to make sure the HVAC was working. All of the servers needed to be booted. And then all of the public PCs and staff PCs, we had to make sure they were operational. Unfortunately, the AC on the second level was kaput. But we put signs up so that patrons knew if they needed to be upstairs that there was no AC. So we warned everybody that way. However, most people stayed downstairs and staff went upstairs to retrieve something if it was needed. But we had staff who were like, I don't mind it being 79 degrees up here, and they were fine up there. But we got it all settled the next day or two with some HVAC techs, but I know Will is working with our vendor. There's some other programming issues that still need to be taken care of, so we're on board with that. And then we had a tornado warning yesterday, 3 siren event. I'm sure if you were all in town, you heard all 3, which was very disconcerting. But again, staff did a great job ushering about, what'd you say, about 40 people? 30 or 40?
50, yeah.
In the shelter, and we received a very nice email from a patron today. I forwarded to all of you. So that is one update, that one email. The other update is we have a 4-inch caliper branch on the power lines just down the street here and across from our lot. Will called ComEd yesterday, called Public Works, we did not hear back. Today I emailed the village manager and Public Works an image of it. And then they returned, finally got back to me and said, the village has nothing to, they're not gonna deal with power lines because of the dangers. So we're kind of at the mercy of ComEd. So what I'm gonna do tomorrow again is, Will already left a message and I'm gonna call back. I'm also gonna try and see if we can get our power lines buried again. I'm gonna reach out to the village and ask, because they have contacts, they have partnerships with ComEd, if they would share with me a reliable contact there so we can request that officially, because it's just been a little crazy around this neighborhood. So that's the update there. Let's see. It's also a fire hazard. I saw on the news yesterday about a branch being on power lines and it was like sparking. So like that's dangerous. So we have to wait for ComEd, but I will reach out as
They'll
of
probably
tomorrow.
over by your house, Debbie.
I hope so, yeah, I'll send them your way when they're done. We
Will
saw
do.
like 4 trucks in the parking lot of St. John on the way over here,
Oh.
so, yeah, so
Okay.
they're around.
All right.
All right, next I attended a Chamber of Government Affairs meeting on July 14th and an intergovernmental meeting on August 4th, and the notes for those meetings are in the packet. I'll move on unless there's any questions about those. I'll skip the joint review board meeting notes until we get to that agenda item, and I'll also skip the personnel policy committee notes until we get to those agenda items. And then next, this was a fun thing, library staff participated in Lisle's National Night Out on August 4th at the police station. We had staff from circulation, adult services, and youth services stationing a table in the police department's meeting room, and they spoke to close to 400 people. It was really nice. It was a really nice event. It was great, kind of schmoozing with all of our local government officials, electeds, and staff. So that was wonderful, and there's great photos on social media. And then next, in keeping with having more civic services here at the library, Senator Ellman was in this room with her team, as well as a team from Senator Duckworth's office. That was on August 6th. And Senator Ellman was actually quite surprised at how many people showed up, because this was an event that was just a kind of a drop-in if you want to ask a question. We had anywhere between 10 and 15 people within the 2-hour period here, so we'll do that
That's
again.
great.
But it was really nice.
Definitely.
I also updated the board via email about a couple of partnership activities, and I'll remind the public about that here. There's 2 of them coming up just next week. We'll have staff from the Illinois Treasurer's Office. For anybody, it's on Wednesday next week on August 19th. If anybody has unclaimed cash at the state, they can come and speak with a staff representative from, it's called iCash, to fill out a form and request that they look into it and have that money returned to them. And then same week, on Friday next week, the Lisle Township will be here with their senior services staff. They're gonna have staff here to talk about senior transportation as well as other programs that the township does, and they'll be in the lobby, same for the iCash. They'll both occur in the lobby around the same time, between noon and 2 o'clock. And I think that's it. I just emailed you today and later afternoon that we received our per capita grant. So we received $51,477.70.
Great.
So that was wonderful, and then my report just ends with my communications to the board.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Does anyone have any questions for the director?
No.
Okay, then moving on. 7B is the city director's report. Assistant Director Savage.
All right, so as referenced with the power, earlier with the power outages, we've had some different temperature issues throughout the building and program issues. IBS is planning on coming out tomorrow to address some of those. And I will keep staying on top of them as they arise. They've discussed a few options of maybe needing some sort of battery backup on the Jace in the back. But I'm working with Mark and then some other contacts to figure out exactly what that would entail, how useful that may or may not be. But tomorrow, hopefully we are going to be sorting out some programming bugs that popped up after the power outages. The test and balance testing was completed on August 3rd, which is great. So this is basically where they come in and determine the appropriate amount of air that is dumped into each specific room or location in the building. So that the fact that that is out of the way is fantastic. So the rain barrel, the Lisle Women's Club donated a rain barrel in July. It was supposed to be fully installed late last week, and they came out and realized they had the wrong size downspout for the diverter that came with the barrel. So then they said, okay, we'll reschedule and come back out. That was scheduled to be yesterday at 10 a.m. We were in the,
Wonderful, yeah.
So I am currently working to get reschedule number 3 going.
Oh my gosh.
But the rain barrel is out there in the spot that it's gonna be, we just need the downspout to get
Great.
next to it. The gutter guy assured me that it was a 20-minute job, so
That's great.
once he can get out here, it should be
Right.
all
Weather's
done.
fine.
Yes, exactly. And then, so moving on to physical plant, so there's a few different items that need to be discussed about the facility. There's a couple things that have come up since I've written this, but we've talked about breaker box imaging before that can help us locate some of those breakers that be proactive on replacing the ones that are going to cause issues during power fluctuations, as opposed to waiting for them to just go out and then we're up a creek. Some roof protection stuff, some landscape plantings, some curb repair, some lighting on the roof of the building. But I have a few dates of my physical plant people. If I could throw out to you all, and we could look at our calendars and see what would work and what would not. So it looks like September 23rd and 24th. So that's a Wednesday and a Thursday. Or September 30th would be the Wednesday. I know Wednesdays are usually good for most people because we plan on having these meetings. So all these would be at 7 o'clock. So just about the same as our board
Could
meeting.
you repeat that? We'll look
For
at
sure.
their calendar.
September 23rd, 24th, or 30th.
I'm available either of the Wednesdays, so the
So
23rd or
23rd
30th.
and 30th?
23rd looks good right now.
Any of those work.
What did you say, Josh?
23rd,
The 23rd works for Josh.
23rd or 3rd.
23rd.
23rd, all right, 23rd.
September.
Awesome. I will get us on the calendar. And that is my report.
Thank you.
Any questions for the assistant? Okay, then we will move on to agenda item number 8, which is new business. 8A is to approve the tentative budget and appropriation ordinance 26-04, otherwise known as the B&A. May I have a motion and a second, and then Director Weinstein will provide a summary for us.
I move to approve the tentative budget and appropriation ordinance 26-04 of such sums of money as may be deemed necessary to defray all necessary expenses and liabilities of the Lisle Library District for the fiscal year beginning July 1st, 2026 and ending June 30th, 2027.
I'll second.
Okay, motion and a second, Director Weinstein?
Sure, this is an overview there is an overview document in the packet. Also, our attorney has reviewed the entire ordinance and all the categories and the narrative, and he's given it his blessing, so that's good news. Next, just for the record, I want to review what the B&A is for. I'm not going to go over the whole overview, but I do want to make mention that it's an ordinance that taxing districts must adopt in order to spend the funding the library receives via property taxes. We present this tentative B&A this month, and then the final draft will be approved in September. We use the already board-approved working budget to determine the appropriation amounts. The appropriation column designates our authorization to expend funds for any necessary obligations that go beyond our budgeted expenses. The ordinance accounts for our operational expenditures as well as our special reserve expenditures. And the appropriation column, again, is not our intention to expend all those funds. It's there purely as an allowance in case we need it. This could be related to, say, tree removal, if there's like a large weather event or something like that, or if the gas prices go even higher, natural gas prices go even higher. So if we didn't budget enough, at least we have that amount available. The library has 4 major funds, those being corporate, IMRF, FICA, and special. And the corporate fund in the ordinance that you have before you shows a 16% allowance from budget to appropriation. And that increase accounts for, again, unintended expenses if needed. And it also includes the transfer to special reserve for our Kingston Lot project. The IMRF and FICA funds show appropriation allowances of 9% and 4% respectively. These numbers come from IMRF, the IMRF one. And then because IMRF is on a calendar year, we have half a year of a rate, and then we have to estimate the rate for the second half of the year. So that's why it's 9%. And then FICA is based on wages, and that 4% allowance, it corresponds with the salary category where we added an extra allowance of 4% in the salaries. The special reserve fund shows an allowance of 25% with conservative estimates for the Kingston Lot project. And that is my quick summary, but again, we ran this by our attorney. He thinks all the categories show reasonable appropriation amounts. So unless there are recommended adjustments, we ask the board to approve as presented.
Thank you. I'll open up for discussion now. Does anyone have any questions for the director? I had a couple questions, I was just curious.
Sure.
In E, contractual costs, are you thinking the legal services, the budget is 8,000 and the appropriated amount is 20,000? Are you expecting that to be like half?
I have nothing, I'm not worried about anything,
Okay.
but you never know.
Okay.
Because we had the last year of.
Yeah, and then in the special reserve fund with security systems, so the budget, we were budgeted 5,000, but then the appropriation is 45,000, so I was just kind of curious what you were thinking might potentially.
Extra
arise.
security cameras since we did not get that grant.
Okay.
And that was again, very conservative estimate for security cameras, will probably be much less than that,
Okay.
but that's why that's there.
Okay.
And that's extra security cameras for the Kingston lot as well as extra around the.
Okay.
Got it.
Okay.
Oh, that includes,
Thank you.
okay.
Yeah, those are the ones that I was curious about, but
Mhm.
thank you. Does anyone have any other further questions, further discussion? Okay, Jackie, please call the roll.
Emily Swistar,
Aye.
Vanessa Berry,
Aye.
Debbie Bryan,
Aye.
Josh Martin,
Aye.
Karen Larson,
Aye.
Laura Paley,
Aye.
Liz Sullivan.
Aye.
Okay, motion passes, thank you. 8B is to accept Illinois Public Library Annual Report, otherwise known as the IPLAR. May I have a motion and a second, and then Director Weinstein can provide a summary.
I move to accept the Illinois Public Library Annual Report, otherwise known as the IPLAR.
I'll second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second, Director Weinstein?
Okay, so the IPLAR will be submitted online to the state library as a condition of our membership and for certain grant opportunities if we get the grant. It's a report that cites program, resources, and personnel statistics, as well as your names, all the elected official trustees. And every year they ask us very similar questions, but they ask it in a different way, so it's always a little bit of a challenge for staff to pull all those numbers. So if you see something that looks a little odd, statistically, believe me, we've gone over this and over this, it's correct information there. I just want to thank the department directors and our IT staff for pulling these numbers, as well as Will for kind of lassoing everybody together and pulling them for my review. So that's just my summary.
Okay, thank you. Any questions for the director on that? Further discussion? Okay, Jackie, please call the roll.
Emily Swistar.
Aye.
Vanessa Berry,
Aye.
Debbie Bryan,
Aye.
Josh Martin,
Aye.
Karen Larson,
Aye.
Laura Paley,
Aye.
Liz Sullivan.
Aye.
Okay, motion passes, thank you. 8C is to approve, deny, abstain, or vote present for the Village of Lisle TIF extension amendments, providing direction for the library director to vote at the Village JRB meeting on August 17th, 2026 at 1 p.m. May I have a motion and a second, and then the director can provide a summary.
Are we reading the entirety of the parentheses?
You can pick which one you would want to do.
I move to instruct the library director to vote aye at the Village of Lisle's Joint Review Board meeting on August 17, 2026 on behalf of the Lisle Library District regarding the Village of Lisle TIF extension amendments.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Director Weinstein?
Yes, so the village, TIF consultant and village manager have provided several documents over the past month. I forwarded them all to you. I didn't receive any questions from anybody, from any of the trustees on the topic. And as mentioned, the vote will provide direction for me to vote at the GRB meeting next week. And the village manager did provide a small, a brief summary of the amendments to the extension in my director's report.
Thank you. Any further questions for the director? Any other discussion? Okay, so Jackie's gonna call the roll. This is to vote aye for this, okay? All right. Jackie, please call the roll.
Emily Swissair.
Aye.
Vanessa Berry.
Aye.
Debbie Bryant.
Aye.
Josh Martin.
Aye.
Karen Larson.
Aye.
Laura Paley.
Aye.
And Liz Sullivan.
Aye.
Okay, motion passes, thank you. Okay, moving on then, 8D is to approve LLD policy 205, flags on LLD property. May I have a motion and a second, and then Director Weinstein will provide a summary.
I move to approve LLD policy 205, flags on LLD property.
I'll second.
Okay, motion and a second, Director Weinstein.
Okay, so everybody received the draft as well as a clean copy, so you know what work the committee did. And the committee did really good work. We had great discussions for all 4 policies. So they did the hard work for you. So I'm not going to go over all of the changes. I'm just going to do a quick summary. So it is a new policy for us. It affects all properties that we own. I spoke with our attorney on this as well. We use language from other libraries, other municipalities to draft this policy. We are using legal terminology in the introduction, and then we list the guidelines below that outline the laws we follow. There's an earth flag footnote there, and then we just provide clarification for the public and for staff. And just a note, at my last intergovernmental meeting, I did poll the group, and they'd be interested in seeing this draft after we hopefully pass it. It doesn't seem that any other agency has a flag policy. The fire district did note that they do use the US flag code as their policy, but they don't have anything as descriptive as we have here regarding other other ways to fly flags. So that's my summary.
Thank you. Any discussion? Okay, Jackie, please call the roll.
Emily Swissair.
Aye.
Vanessa Berry.
Aye.
Debbie Bryant.
Aye.
Josh Martin.
Aye.
Karen Larson.
Aye.
Laura Paley.
Aye.
Liz Sullivan.
Aye.
Okay, motion passes, thank you. 8E is to approve LLD policy 350, artificial intelligence. May I have a motion and a second, and then pass it over to Director Weinstein.
I move to approve LLD policy 350, artificial intelligence, AI.
I'll second.
Okay, a motion and a second, Director Weinstein.
Sure. It's another new policy for us. Again, we looked at other library policies, the ALA. Some municipalities for the relevant language here. Again, there's not a whole lot out there right now from library land because AI, when you're using it in business kind of type categories here, the library isn't 100% on where they want to go with AI use. And some of the other policies out there in the business sphere have some like really comprehensive ones, but don't relate to how libraries would use it. So, again, everything is evolving, and we will probably change this policy or revise it in the next 6 months because we'll get more direction from ALA or something like that.
That was like the repeated joke in our meeting.
Yes, yes. And so, in the policy, we start with a definition, and then we reference responsibility, privacy, and security issues. And then we comprehensively outline staff obligations, and that's in relation to AI use such as patron disclosures, low-risk work tasks, employment decisions, prohibited uses, attribution, breaches, and collection development matters. We had a very deep conversation on this.
Yeah,
Thank
we
you.
did.
Any discussion?
Just that I think it's good foresight to have this in reviewing the policy. A good start, but I do believe that we won't be able to avoid some comprehensive legalese that surrounds AI. And I would imagine this is just the tip of the iceberg as it relates to it. So I would simply say that be prepared to further amend this one in the near future.
We are ready.
Every 90 days. Or
Yeah, right, I know.
Right.
Jackie, please call the roll.
Emily Swissair.
Aye.
Vanessa Berry.
Aye.
Debbie Bryant.
Aye.
Josh Martin.
Aye.
Karen Larson.
Aye.
Laura Paley.
Aye.
Liz Sullivan.
Aye.
Okay, motion passes, thank you. 8F is to approve LLD policy 360, library-sponsored public programs. May I have a motion and a second, and then Director Weinstein provides something.
I move to approve LLD Policy 360, Library-Sponsored Public Programs.
Second?
Okay, motion and a second. Director Weinstein.
Yes, so we added a new section to this policy that I'll start with. We added a new sentence in the introduction to highlight that we offer opportunities to connect with elected officials and other agencies. That was the new piece. We clarified the wording for the staff facilitated programs and added a new section for civic programs. So this was important because we want to clarify to the public that there is no bias here and that the elected officials are here to do the business for the public as elected officials. And that's better delineated towards the end of the policy where we list what the programs aim to do and what they shall not do, such as allow campaigning or political activity. It also states that we'll partner with, again, elected officials, not those who are actively seeking office. That's just to be very clear to the public that we're not campaigning or providing a platform for people who are seeking office. We are providing an opportunity for people who are already elected to do the business for the public.
Thank you. Any discussion on that? Okay. Jackie, please call the roll.
Emily Swister.
Aye.
Vanessa Berry.
Aye.
Debbie Bryan.
Aye.
Josh Martin.
Aye.
Karen Larson.
Aye.
Laura Bailey.
Aye.
Liz Sullivan.
Aye.
Okay, motion passes, thank you. 8G is to approve LLD Policy 906, recording of LLD Board of Trustee meetings. May I have a motion and a second, and then Director Weinstein provide a summary.
I move to.
Go ahead, no.
I move to approve LLD Policy 906, recording of LLD Board of Trustee meetings.
I'll second.
Okay, motion and a second, Director Weinstein.
Yes, so this one is about 10 years old. That's been on my list to revise for a while. It's one of the policies where procedures have changed and we needed the policy to reflect those changes. So we provided clearer language in the introduction under A. Under B is where we adjusted the information. The library used to pay for 2 safety deposit boxes, one at Lisle Savings on Main Street, one at Lisle Savings at Maple. And way back when, we used to store microfilm there of the minutes of the meeting. And Jackie brought a big bag of them to share and show the committee. We also used to keep cassette tapes of the executive sessions. Okay, we no longer do that. So we continued to pay for these safety deposit boxes, and we weren't really depositing the executive sessions, which we need to do and keep safely. We actually keep them in a safe at the library. So it's a fireproof safe, and they're SD cards now. They're not cassette tapes any longer or CDs. So these little SD cards are kept in a safe. So we close the boxes at the bank. We have the microfilm, the minutes in a fireproof file cabinet, and the cassettes are in the safe. So like all of the executive sessions that we need to keep statutorily are safe in a safe. And we don't need the safety deposit boxes any longer. And as far as the microfilm goes, we actually have them digitally saved as PDFs, so we don't really even need the microfilm any longer, but we have them here in a safe place. Sorry. So we just needed to change the policy to reflect the procedural changes that we've followed for quite a few years, even though the policy was different.
Did the regulation itself change, or did it always allow for us to store them in a safe on site?
The regulation is that we just need to keep them.
Oh.
It doesn't say where to keep them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
Interesting.
Any further discussion or questions on this one? Okay, Jackie, please call the roll.
Emily Swister.
Aye.
Vanessa Berry.
Aye.
Debbie Bryan.
Aye.
Josh Martin.
Aye.
Karen Larson.
Aye.
Laura Bailey.
Aye.
Liz Sullivan.
Aye.
Okay, motion passes. 8H and I include the semi-annual review of executive session minutes and review of executive session recordings more than 18 months old, because apparently it's been 6 months.
I don't believe it.
To take
time
action
flies.
on these items, I'll entertain a motion and a second to go into executive session under agenda item 9. Whoever makes the motion, please read aloud the full citation. We will then return to agenda item 8H and I after executive session. We have a motion and a second.
I move to go into executive session under 5 ILCS 120/2-C21. The discussion of minutes of meetings lawfully closed under this act, whether for the purposes of approval by the body of the minutes or semi-annual review of the minutes as mandated by section 2.06.
I'll second.
Okay, motion and a second, any discussion? Okay, roll call please.
Emily Swistak.
Aye.
Vanessa Berry.
Aye.
Debbie Bryan.
Aye.
Josh Martin.
Aye.
Karen Larson.
Aye.
Laura Paley.
Aye.
Liz Sullivan.
Aye.
Okay, motion passes, thank you. So pause. And
I'm gonna join you.
Take a break.
Need some water, actually.
Okay. We are now in open session at 8:31 PM. May I have a motion and a second for agenda item 8H?
I move to release the February 18th, 2026 minutes of the LLD Board of Trustees.
Second?
Okay, discussion? Okay, Jackie, please call the roll.
Emily Swistak.
Aye.
Vanessa Berry.
Aye.
Debbie Bryan.
Aye.
Josh Martin.
Aye.
Karen Larson.
Aye.
Laura Paley.
Aye.
Liz Sullivan.
Aye.
Okay, motion passes, thank you. That's, agenda, I was gonna skip us. Agenda item number 10 is opportunity for trustee comments. Trying to go. All right, trustee Sullivan.
Nothing at this time, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Secretary Martin.
I just wanted to say the note that you sent on the Blue Envelope program was very enlightening, and I'm pleased that that's a program that we have, and hopeful that it results in continued positive interactions with law enforcement and other agencies like that. So that was a nice bit of news. Thank you.
Thank you. Vice President Berry?
Nothing at this time.
Okay. Just want to say thank you again for the productive discussion. I feel like I'm saying this every month, but I really appreciate it. I really, like having everyone participate and speaking their mind and sharing all that. So thank you again for that. Thank you to the director, assistant director for your reports and all of the work that's been done recently with the 2 shelter in place and the power outage and all of that that's been going on as well. So thank you for that. Treasurer Bryan.
I would reiterate, thank you for all the hard work. Congratulations to your staff on really managing, these situations and being so prepared and making the public feel safe and comfortable during a time that can be really stressful, especially for children. So,
Oh, yeah.
so yeah, great job.
Thank you. Trustee Bailey?
I had the same comments. Great job.
Okay. Trustee Larson? Nothing.
Echoing the same thing.
Okay.
Yep.
Wonderful, thank you. Okay, last item on the agenda is to adjourn. May I have a motion and a second?
Move to adjourn.
Second.
Oh, who wants it? Give it to Karen, okay. Karen Larson.
Karen Larson.
Discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. We are adjourned at 8:34 PM.
Woohoo. All
Thanks,
right.
everyone.
Thank you.